It's been just a little over 2 years since the firing of Gina Carano and the absence of Cara Dune from the Mandalorian series by Jon and Dave, and ever since then, a lot of fans have really been on edge about where the future stands for the Star Wars universe, and given that Jon and Dave, as well as George, are heavily involved in whatever's coming next and the revival of Star Wars Legends to be done in live-action adaptations, we have a lot of other things that are beginning to pave way for the Star Wars universe. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future Star Wars updates. I'm also on Twitter at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. Now, as you all are very well aware, Celebration is just around the corner during this month of April. A lot of fans are looking forward to exactly what's coming, of course, for Jon, George, Dave, Tony Gilroy, Peyton Reed, and other creators that are also going to be hopping on board of this new era of Star Wars. Now, one thing that has a lot to do with actress Gina Carano, who will, of course, be very much involved in future material. We already talked about how the special edition of Mando Season 2 is going to include specific special deleted scenes for 2024. We've discussed that. However, what's even all the more exciting has a lot to do with Jon and Dave's goals and ambitions for what's to come next for Gina Carano in upcoming Star Wars lore. Now, that brings us to exactly what's in store for Gina Carano. Now, we already know that there's been numerous meetings happening between the Disney board, the executives, Bob Iger, and even Jon and Dave getting involved to really handle what's to come next for the Mandalorian series. Now, that brings us to, of course, where this all stands currently and where it's really all going. Now, with Disney beginning to fire many Lucasfilm employees to replace them with new, of course, passionate-driven employees to help reshape the company, it's noted, however, that both Jon and Dave are beginning to work on a full-fledged Gina Carano scene for The Mandalorian Season 4. The scene that has already been storyboarded is described to involve the return of Cara Dune, who here appears to be storyboarded, of course, in a moment in which it involves Cara Dune in an actual major design change. She's decked out in black armor with a ponytail and serves as a double agent working for the New Republic and playing both sides for new remnants of the Empire, two of which speaking, that are looking for valuable Jedi lore that Ahsoka has been trying to track down and keep away from the hands of Moff Gideon and Grand Admiral Thrawn, as well as Baylan and Shin, two new Dark Jedi that will be introduced in the Ahsoka series. In this scene, however, both Cara Dune and Sabine Wren are working together to face some of Grand Admiral Thrawn's forces, which consist of these new type of stormtroopers, where their armor has dark, glowing gold cracks on them. The armor is said to have been pieced together by the Night Sisters, where both Cara and Sabine are trying to track down the Night Sisters to get closer to Thrawn's hidden position. Now, one of the other storyboards involves both Cara Dune and Sabine Wren eventually reaching the Night Sisters and making some kind of trade to gain information that will lead to Thrawn's newly established destination after the events of the Ahsoka series. Now, let me pause here quickly for one moment, because we know that the Night Sisters are going to play a very big role, not just in the Ahsoka series, but also, of course, now in Mandalorian Season 4, which, by the way, this is a very big deal. The fact that we have Jon and Dave not only establishing Sabine further past Ahsoka series, but also we have the Night Sisters coming into live-action adaptations, which I love. I don't know if you guys know much about the Night Sisters, if you guys have not seen the animated material. They are the ones deeply responsible for Darth Maul's survival after the events of the Phantom Menace. I'm sure 90% of you guys know that, but for the 10% of you that may have never seen any kind of the animated material, that's exactly how Maul was able to survive. They were able to use, scraps and use magic to really create his legs and all the like to keep him alive and well. But that's not the point. The point is the fact that we have this storyboarding process being developed by Jon and Dave that's giving Gina a more prominent role in Mando 4, which, by the way, may or may not come out in the very end of 2024. It all really depends if they run into delays, and if they do, you may not see the season until March or maybe February of 2025. Similar to what happened with Season 3, how this was supposed to release in December of last year, and that got pushed all the way until March of this year. So that brings us to the next big piece here, of course. In addition to all of this, the scene also involves Sabine Wren wielding what appears to be Ezra's lightsaber against the Night Sisters for some reason unexplained, leading the Cara Dune aiming her blasters at the Night Sisters in defensive positions. The additional, of course, scenes lead, of course, both Cara and Sabine eventually getting info from the Night Sisters on Thrawn's new position, and inform Ahsoka Tano. This is all meant to be filmed for Mando Season 4 by the end of this summer, where additionally both Gina and Cara Dune also explore some kind of hidden cave on a strange world that is currently unnamed. Now, I don't know if you guys have been aware about this, but we all know that Mando 4 is going to be one of the big seasons for the series that's going to have a massive time jump. Alright, so we are going to have a time jump by a couple of years. How far will it take place after the events of the Ahsoka series really is a big mystery right now. But we already know that the Ahsoka Tano show is going to take place at multiple different points in time. It's going to have moments in the past, present, and even in the future, where it's going to have flash forwards, where it's going to have time jumps within the show itself, which is going to make the show very unique, because it's basically going to be a time-focused series where it's going to progress. So the other thing about this too is that we also know that it's all up to Gina Carano on whether or not she wants to accept her return into The Mandalorian. We already know that Disney executives are very desperate for her to come back. They are welcoming her back with open arms, but they're trying to decide on which they want to do first. Have her return in Mando 4 in a glorified cameo, or have her return in the new revived version of Rangers of the New Republic with a brand new title that's now being worked on and will be announced, by the way, at D23 later this year, so keep your minds open for that. But here's the deal about this too, is that we also know that Gina Carano, alright, is somebody that really is embedded within the fandom, and one of the main reasons why the fans are so divided. You know, we see a lot of fans that either, really do support her, or Star Wars fans that really just resent her. And everyone's gonna have their own opinion, and that's fine, I'm not here to change anybody's opinion. But I am here to actually just really kind of point out what's going where and where Gina stands right now. And it seems like it's all on Gina. Some fans feel that Gina should not come back and should not even, give Disney a second chance. And I would like to hear what you guys have to say about all of that below in the comments, and what you guys have to say about the whole scenario of these storyboards that are being created for Mando 4 by John and Dave. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Gun in hand, we are alone again. From night to moon, we hear them moans again.